Today's guest describes himself as disgustingly obsessed with the world of branding.
You know, and I'm a big believer in, like, you create your own luck.
Beginning as a one-man freelance designer, on the cusp of COVID, his unrelenting ambition quickly saw him become an authority in this space.
What do you need, Dain? I said, dude, I need clients. He goes, how much money do you want every month? I said, dude, if I could make 10 grand a month, I'd quit my job. Gary Vee runs out at the end. He says, what up, Brisbane, after 8 hours? And people are in Snoozeville. He comes out after 8 hours and goes, what up, Brisbane? I'm not here to sell you shit.
Figure out branding once and for all. Give it up for Rivyl agency founder, brand extraordinaire, Dane Walker.
Yeah. No one's ever lucky. I think the only luck you get in life is where you're born, and then you make the rest.
Stick around. It's going to be a good ride.
Boys, look where we are. Pete's on his phone. He's texting the family, taking photos.
Dude,
We
what
did it.
is going on, man?
We got on the road.
Where are we?
Well, we got on a flight.
Got on a flight?
And all I know is I'm 56 floors up, looking over Sydney, looking over the east.
You boys manifested it. We wanted to get on the road.
Here we are.
So many amazing guests across this amazing country, and we're in Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, as
Meeting with one today.
I'm looking out behind you, Pete, for our listeners, and I can see the SCG. Looking further on, I think there's Randwick. You can see Bondi Beach. Pan around more. There's Vaucluse, Rose Bay.
Jeepers.
How's this?
It's
Jeepers.
insane.
Tell you what, I love Melbourne, but tell you what, Sydney, we've got a bit going on.
Yeah, we're
You
56
know what?
floors up.
We were nearly sleeping next to the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence bins for a second there. Where we ran.
Last night.
Yeah. Like
Oh, well, here you go. Here's the story. Benny. We walk into the lobby.
Yeah.
Benny goes,
beautiful
sorry.
Meriton Hotel.
We need to be up here for 2 nights. He books us for 1.
I didn't mean. I thought I booked.
You boys here for 2 nights?
We're here for 2.
I'm only here for 1. What's
you
going
get the memo.
what's that?
Mate, we got some big boy business. That's all right. But one night. But you know what? The staff, they just
God.
hustled. They hustled here at the Meriton. They got it sorted. They moved the chess pieces on the chessboard, man, and fit us in for 2
Good on 'em.
nights.
Shout out to them then.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to
I
them.
haven't been to too many of these flash hotels, to be fair, man. But it was my mistake, and I felt like they took the ownership of it. You know what I mean?
They sorted it.
Their service was insane,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, shout out to the Meriton. Thank you for looking after us.
You boys have done well. I mean, you got to sleep on the 57th floor. I was on the
3
56th
levels. It's
floor.
3 levels this
You
thing.
boys went a bit higher than me, but that's okay. But it's 3 levels, this place.
Well, just
Mate.
one level. There's levels to it, you know. I know we tried to get you on the 58. You weren't interested.
I'm happy on the 56, mate. It's good enough. It's a good view. Maybe
Mate,
next trip we
very.
come up, I might get on the 57th.
Man, I'm
Very comfortable here. Very happy.
buzzing for
Very
today's
happy.
guest, boys. I don't want to jump in early, man.
Your bucket list
Big
for
time.
over a year.
Big time, man. He was one of the first people that when we came up with the podcast, he was like, dude, I made a little list of people and he was right up the top, man. So I never thought
amazing
we'd
one.
be able to get to Sydney, but here we are, right?
Well, this is what happens when we get on the road, boys. We unlock
Nice.
the rest of the guests in the country.
It's good.
Might have to make a habit of it.
Yeah.
I could get comfy.
Let's get a few more.
Had a nice night's sleep last night. No kids waking me up. Slept through.
Slept right through.
Slept through.
And you boys went on a bit of a morning
Ridiculous.
stroll together.
We did, mate. I went and got an early morning coffee,
know that.
sipping away there, and there's Pete. He's doing his power walk. He's all about mobility.
Mobility, he's getting nimble.
He had the sweatband, and he had the wrist ones.
Actually, that reminds me. Speaking of walks this morning, I tootled off to get a bacon and egg McMuffin. Question for you, Dan, because I don't have a dog. I was walking, there's a dude walking his dog, and this is a serious question. He had the poop in the bag, right? Which is cool. So his dog's done the poop. He's picked it up. He's walked past a cluster of bins, and he didn't put the poo in. Is there a reason why he did that? Is that? Are you not allowed to put? You have to take it home. Is that how it works?
Well, mate, I put him in the bins. Like, I'm not going to carry around smelly poo, dog poo with me all on the walk. Of course you'd put it in the bin.
That's what I thought. So
That's what
why
bins
is
are for. Or were they...
Maybe in Sydney, are they running different rules up here? Or?
Or was it maybe it was a recycle bin, or was there a
No,
general waste?
there was a full cluster of general waste, and he had this strange walk. He was walking the dog like this, and he had his back out like this.
So it's smelly, so he had it standing
on
in
the
it.
side, and I'm like, man, it's just there, dude. Just drop it in there. And
Put it, mate. You put it in the bin, surely.
put it in the bin.
No, you put them in the bin, man.
Okay.
Put them in the bin.
Just- because
If
I've got
you
dogs, I
pick
thought
them
it was
up,
strange.
if you're good enough to pick it up,
Just
yeah, you got to
another
put them
one
in
of
the
You
bin.
got to pick it. I think you can get fined now if you don't pick it
You
up.
got to pick it up, man.
You pick it up.
Stepping in it, there's nothing probably worse on the
Yeah,
planet.
there's no reason why it's
You
bad.
nearly need to
Nothing's-
throw your shoes out if you step in one, so
Yeah.
you got to do it, man. Got to pick it up.
It's funny when I do walks now. When I was back in Garyville, people had signs: "Don't put poo in the bin." But I used to do it in their residential.
So where do they? Oh, they
People say they
suggest
didn't
you
want-
take
I
it
didn't
home.
care if someone did it to me.
If you've got
All in it
time to
together?
put a sign, if you've got a time to put a sign up, don't put poo in me bin.
Well, it's like the no junk mail sign.
that's a
They'd
problem.
put it on the bin, the no dog poos.
They need
in
to
the
get
bin
out.
sign.
They need to get out more of those people. But yeah, we're living the dream, boys. This is it. This is the first of many as well. So for the record,
Strap
this
in.
This is going to the Meriton have been kind enough. They've looked after us, and this is going to be our home moving forward. And we're going to be able to, like you said, PK, throughout the rest of the year, we're going to try and unlock more and more guests, do more and more trips. So
Beautiful.
Love it. And
Look
we're
out.
going to have a conversation. The view's amazing, but next time I wouldn't mind seeing more the
of
the northern side, Benny.
bit of harbour. I know I had to focus on trying to get a second night last night, and not which room we were in, man.
Mate, we're looking over at Bondi.
Mate,
Beautiful.
it's amazing.
that
No,
what
no, I
that
just
is?
want to tick all the boxes. I want to see it all
Oh, you
from
want to see
all
all?
views.
You want to do a
know?
360
Yeah.
of Sydney?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. All right, boys, we've got a
gross.
guest. We've got Benny's bucket list guest today. We've got on the road to get up here. Super exciting. Today's guest describes himself as disgustingly obsessed with the world of branding. So it's a little surprised that he's the founder of one of the fastest growing branding agencies in the country. Beginning as a Beginning as a one-man freelance designer on the cusp of COVID, his unrelenting ambition quickly saw him become an authority in this space, working with the likes of Chase Morgan Bank, World Gym, Culture Kings, and Facebook.
Mate, the book.
Oh, the Zacks.
The book. That's one. Of,
Zucker.
That's
that's
serious, man.
possibly one of the biggest.
Is that the
probably
biggest company on the planet?
I'd
reckon
say
if
they're
you-
bigger than Coke,
they'd
or they're
be-
more recognisable now. than Coke.
I've seen a top 10 list recently, I reckon. They'd have to be in the top 10. Apple, were they?
Macca's,
Yeah, Apple's the biggest. Apple would be the biggest.
Macca's, and McDonald's are surely up there.
No, I don't think it.
No. Are we talking about for
Revenue.
Oh, for revenue. Sorry, revenue's a different story.
I'm more thinking
thinking-
recognisable
Revenue,
branding.
okay,
I reckon
Anyway,
it'd be Macca's, maybe.
I'd say Coke. It'd have to be Coke, wouldn't it?
Don't know. We'll find out.
we'll find out.
Yeah.
His secret, thought-provoking storytelling and strategic branding. We're going to unpack it all here today, boys. Figure out branding once and for all. Give it up for Rivyl agency founder, brand extraordinaire, Dane Walker.
Hey, Dain! Welcome, man.
No, thanks, mate.
Great man.
I'm fanboying a little bit here.
I can tell when he's buzzing.
Yeah.
Mate, Sydney's been good to us. There's we left literally in rain in Melbourne, and here we are, mate. 30 degrees. Happy days.
With a beautiful view of Bondi and what feels like a mansion on top of a building. I had a look when I come in. This place is 3 stories tall. I don't know how many rooms are in here. It's huge.
Perfectly described.
You got 3 balconies. 3
There is
balconies. Not that you
There's
need
the
it,
one
but-
up the top's the best one. That's
Yeah.
the good,
Yeah.
A mansion on top of a building. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. It's a great way to start your journey in Sydney.
Yes, yeah. Well, we started strong. It's not where you start that matters, where you finish. Dain, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for your time.
Excited, man. Pumped.
Yeah, we're pumped to
Thanks
hear
for
all
having me.
about this, mate. Where did Dane Walker start? Where's the passion for branding start, and that where's that journey? Because where you are now, man, like where you positioned yourself, the authority in the space, it's amazing. Like to get this guy's attention, to have him carry on like he does, you must be doing something right. So where did it all begin?
Yeah, tough question, man. So yeah, I mean, as a kid, I was always quite odd. We could just say that. I was more interested in peeling bark off trees and looking at bugs and hanging out with the other kids. So I was always just fascinated by just I guess being curious about things. My artistic side comes from my mum. She's a painter. She loves, doing canvas paintings and stuff like that. So when I was a little kid, she'd always be painting and I'd always be messing around with my fingers on, canvases and stuff like that. And, when you're a young 6-year-old boy, Spider-Man and Batman are the coolest thing in the world. I used to collect like little cards in chip packets, and stuff like that. And my mum gave me like A3 paper, like quite big paper, and that's what I'd draw. And she'd just give me a stack of that, couple of pencils, and I'd start drawing. And I used to take like Spider-Man cards, and then I'd use a ruler, and I would create a grid, and then I would draw Spider-Man to scale.
Wow.
So I would scale it up like 10x,
Yeah.
and draw it really big, and then color it in with textures and put it on my wall, and thought it was cool. So I was always kind of just creative by nature as a kid. When I was 9, the first time I got a computer, so I saw someone had like a TV screen on their front yard from a Windows 95 PC. So I took that, and then my stepdad knew I wanted to get a computer. So then he, at a job site, he was a removalist. He picked up an actual unit and we put it back together. We turned it on. And I remember turning my computer on for the first time and it'd be like, the screen would light up and then the Windows symbol would be there for 8 minutes and then you'd finally log in.
Good marketing.
Yeah. They only had like 2 options. You could write words or draw in paint, unless you wanted to go on Minesweeper or Solitaire. And I just really enjoyed doing like stick figure animations and stuff like that as a kid. You would create one board, then the next board, and you would make the character move. So I don't know. I was always just curious about creative stuff. I was quite an introverted kid, and I certainly like using my imagination. But moving into my teenage years, when I was 17, I worked at a t-shirt shop. So on the Sunshine Coast, they have a Sunshine Plaza, like a retailer outlet place. Yep. And there was this pokey little shop with graffiti on the walls, and they just sold like band merch and band t-shirts. You could go and get your Chili Peppers, you could get your Blink 182s, your Nirvanas, whatever you wanted to wear. And I used to, because of the trademarks and stuff like that, you can't necessarily slap a logo on a shirt and sell it, but you can take a photo that's not plagiarized and it's open source, and then you can artistically edit it and then print that on a shirt and you can sell that. So I did that for a couple of years. I learned, screen printing, print pressing, but what would happen and where I learned, I guess, how to do branding techniques was customers would come in and they would say, look, we want to do, 200 shirts for Christmas. Coles came in one year and wanted 8,000 shirts.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, just design like, a reindeer with the Coles logo on it and make it cool and put the groceries in the Santa sled. And I would just be there just editing live. Yeah. The CMO from Coles is just telling me, put that there. And, 5 minutes later, someone would come in and say, hey, mate, we need a logo for our bands. Can you get a unicorn juggling chainsaws and make it brutal? And I would be like, sure, but just like, can I sketch this overnight? Because it sounds pretty intense. And they're like, yeah, whatever, just make it cool. So go home, I'd sketch it, and then I would like scan it and put it in Illustrator, and I would overlay and then create like a full blown like band merch t-shirt. So I just I was there for 5 years, and the lady, Carolyn was her name, who ran the place. I don't know what she saw in me, dude. I was a weird teenager, you know what I mean? I was introverted, I was quiet, I was awkward, and she just saw something in me creatively. But being thrown into retail forced me to learn how to have good people skills. Yeah. And a bit of a backstory about myself, like just add context to this. I missed about 70% of my schooling, and I grew up as a kid in and out of foster care. And my mother, bless her, like I got a lot of love for her. But so childhood was a bit obscure, so then that explains the weird behavior. Okay, so fast forward, I'm in retail and I'm faced with thousands of clients every day for the first time. I'm not a people person, and all of a sudden I'm in this environment. So I had to learn how to adapt and be extroverted. So train myself to be an extrovert.
Is that scary?
It was terrifying. Yeah, but what happened was, the weirdest thing is, it's almost like I inoculated myself with having to be extroverted. And then I realized I feel like I'm not naturally an introvert. I'm an introvert because of my childhood. Okay. There was drama around me, so I would close myself inward. But then being thrown into this extrovert environment, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is not scary. People are nice. I can have a conversation. So it was almost like a really positive thing for me to go through that, and it was quite healing. And so I was there for 5 years, ended up running the place, doing all the photography, editing the website, producing content, doing all the design work, and just eyeballing every customer that would come in. I'd watch their eyes. Where would their eyes go? What shirt would they look at? Why would they look at it? Okay, they looked over there. I'm going to put that shirt over here, and I'm going to position that. I was just constantly hyper aware of like, how do I optimize consumer experience to sell? Ask me why, I don't know. I just naturally thought it was fascinating. Yeah. The first book I read at that time actually was Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Great book. Fast forward from that, I did a whole bunch of sales jobs. I worked at UE Insurance. I was a car salesman, and I ended up at a place called Godfrey's Vacuums. And so weird story, but vacuums weirdly is quite fascinating. I don't know, it's just me, man, but vacuums are cool, you know?
Hold on to your hats.
Yeah, hold on to your hats, guys.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah. So if you've ever been in a vacuum store or a Godfrey's, they do what they call a sand demo. So you come in, they get you to sit on the couch. It's real nice. You want a coffee? Sit on the couch. You're like, I just want to buy a vacuum. You're like, take a seat. You know, I'm just here for a $50 vacuum. It's all right. Just take a seat. I'll show you the $50 vacuum. Here's the $50 vacuum. Have a go at that. Get them up. They wouldn't be able to move it on the carpet. I'd tip sand on the carpet and I'd rub it in so that the sand like vibrated down to the underlays of the carpet. So then you couldn't see it anymore. They're like, where's the sand? It's on your carpet. So then I'd get them to use the $50 vacuum to see if they could get the sand up. They couldn't. They were like, man, there's no sand coming out, you know? And I go, here, try this. And I'd pull out what's called a Sauber, and it's like $3,500. It's plated in gold. It's this monstrous beast of a vacuum. Really good, actually. Plug to Sauber if you're hearing me. I'd love to sponsor you guys. And yeah, you'd get this. You'd run it over the carpet once. You'd fill up the bag with sand. And people would be like, wow, I don't have $3,500. And I would say, that's okay. I've got something that does this for $700. Price position.
As luck would have it.
Yeah, as luck would have
Your
it.
lucky day.
So the weird thing is they wanted to buy a $50 vacuum. I showed them a $3,500 vacuum. And now they're willing to spend $700. Yeah. So it's this weird psychology thing. So I started playing with that. You know, and, you know, I'd always do it in integrity, make sure that they needed it. They actually had carpet in their house. And I had this other stuff called K-Pock, and it's like fake pet fur. So you'd rub that into the couch, and you would vacuum it off the couch, and they would just be like, oh, this is, you know, a tea and a show. This is fantastic. Put it on my credit card. So I was really good at that job. Nathan James, who's now actually one of my mentors, he actually came into the store. He was the CEO of World Gym at that time. And he goes, mate, I've got puke in the gyms. I can't get it out of the mats. Can you help me come get it out of the gym mats? Because the World Gym was about 200 meters from the Godfrey store, and they just opened. And I just signed up as a member. So I was a member there. It was a cool gym. I was loving it. And
sorry, but you're properly working out if you're spewing at the gym, aren't you?
That's what I'm thinking.
Some savages down there. Anyway,
It's the World Gym.
I wouldn't know.
anyone listening to this training at World Gym, you know what's up. You know, it's, go hard or go home. You get it, right? Yeah, it's a lot of bodybuilders. It's a lot of like, you know, dudes doing CrossFit stuff and high performance athletic training. It's the gym for like the fanatics. Yeah. But yeah, constantly puke. Big problem for World Gym. Yeah, it's a big dilemma. So I went in there and I took a bunch of chemicals and a bunch of different machines. We got like these hard floor washing machines and shit. And then I'm like down on my knees in the middle of the gym in my Godfrey's uniform, spraying different chemicals. I'm like, okay, this compound seems to make it curdle and bubble. I can get it out. And this one seems to be getting rid of the smell. That's kind of nice. And I was there for like 2 hours trying to figure this shit out. Wow. And then I was like, right, I've created you a run sheet. I was like, you run this chemical and then this chemical and then this chemical, then you scrub it this way and then you use this machine and you sweet. And he goes, do you want a job?
Wow. Well, how's the customer service there?
He just looked me straight down the barrel and said, do you want to work here? I need you in this gym.
And you're on your knees scrubbing, selling vacuums going, yeah, I wouldn't mind your job.
I don't have to clean vomit all the time.
I don't have to do this, right? This is for the next Godfrey's guy, you know? Yeah. So thankfully there was a cleaner. That was their job. So we gave that itinerary that I created for World Gym. And I guess Nathan saw something in me. And so I left Godfrey's. I started working at World Gym. And then you know, they have a small sales team. So in this particular club, you got a club manager, you got a sales team, you've got cleaners, you got like 16 personal trainers, and then you got like supporting retail staff at the front counter selling supplements and memberships. So I was in the sales team, and they just put me on there as a sales guy. And Nathan James kind of whispered a bit into my ear, you're not here to make friends, you're here to make money, right? And I said, yep. And he goes, cool, just keep that in mind. And I think he was kind of prodding me to, he was almost like a test. Like, what are you going to do with this information? So I took him serious. I was like, cool, I'm not gonna make friends. So I started in the first day. Everyone was just kind of chilling and just slowly cruising through the day. And I decided that I'm just gonna hit the streets. I started knocking on business doors, getting phone numbers, handing out flyers, like just aggressively hitting the market. And that my first month I did 128 sales. And he goes, all right, you know what you're doing. Made me the sales manager. And the team weren't necessarily at that time stoked about that, but 2 weeks later, like I built really good relationships, all about culture and, you know, loving who you work with. Yeah. And then I gave practically all my sales to them to show them that you can hit your targets. just do what I do. And they were all hitting their commissions. They were getting paid twice what they usually get paid. And they're like, okay, this guy's all right.
So you showed them.
Yeah, showed them. I showed them. I didn't tell them. I took a pay
love
cut to get them excited. And then the next month they were crushing it without me. And then I was getting my commission as well, which is great. But then I sat down with Nathan. He goes, look, I got another club not doing so well. I want you to go out there. It's in a country town. I want you to go out there and sort it out. I only had 30 membership sales per month. Sent me out there. I helped that club manager really set the club up. They didn't have an office for the sales team. They were sitting on the floor in creche.
Oh.
And I noticed they had a storage room under the staircase. And I said to Nathan, I was like, can I clean it out and put a sales office in there? He's like, that's a storage room. I'm like, we're not using that. How long has that shit been there? He goes, I don't know, years. I'm going to get rid of that. That's my sales office. And I built this Harry Potter closet sales office. I put vinyl on the floors. I just 10X the whole thing. And then I just wanted to get the sales team's psyche in the right place. Like, this is our spot. We're gonna crush it. We hit 300 and odd sales in the first month.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
So that club was able to really turn itself around. And then essentially after that, I realized that, the gym space was fun. I conquered it and now I was bored.
Yeah.
So I decided I wanted to move back to the Sunshine Coast, went back to the coast, got a job at Telstra working in a retail outlet just selling phones. And, I just remember one day I was sitting there at Telstra and it was the crew I was with were cool, right? So before you get the pitchforks out for Telstra, it's not bad. You get to help, cute old ladies and stuff. It's all right. Yeah. I was there one particular day and I had a client in front of me just really on a rant. Like, he was quite upset about something and he was making it my fault. And I don't
That's
know
what you do with Telstra employees. You always go.
It's always our fault.
Yeah, it's always your fault.
We're just the puncher bags, come in here and take it out. I've seen people get punched in the
Really?
stores. Yeah, people get pretty fired up, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Usually older men get physical.
Wow.
Yeah. If you don't listen to them,
That's well, if you don't listen to them and they get more aggressive.
Well, you just basically say, look, I can't help you. Like you're going to have to call up, which is the last thing you want to hear at Telstra is go call someone. So
that's the reason I've come in to speak to someone.
And, people throw punches.
Yeah. So sometimes you'd feel it coming. You know what I mean? You see an old guy getting fired up. One of the new guys is selling to him. The new guy's like, "There's nothing I could do about it." And you're like, "Then be fighting words, laddie. You're gonna cop it soon." Yeah. And there's another guy there. His name is Dain. He got hit pretty hard.
Wow.
It happens more often than you think. So that's why there's little signs at Telstra that says, respect the staff.
So they don't make it easy though, do they? So Dain, it sounds like this branding journey.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that you set out to go on. It's just through all these experiences and jobs and learning all the different psychologies.
I just fell into it.
Yeah, you fell into it.
Yeah,
Gyms, Godfrey's, Telstra, the T-shirt store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, I'll cap this. I'll put a capstone in this. Basically, with all that head knowledge and all of that experience, I had a friend invite me to a Gary Vee event. I went down to Brisbane.
GV!
Gary, you gotta love him, man. Love that guy. So it's one of those huge all-day events. There was like 6,000 people there in Brisbane, and back-to-back speakers, like world-famous speakers, back-to-back, and they're all pitching stuff. They're all selling boot camps and courses and programs, yada yada. Gary Vee runs out at the end. He says, "What up, Brisbane?" After 8 hours, and people are in Snoozeville. He comes out after 8 hours and goes, "What up, Brisbane? I'm not here to sell you shit." The crowd goes crazy. People are throwing their books. They're getting on their chairs. There's people whipping out their phones. People are lit up to see Gary. He's a freaking rock star, man. This guy is absolutely loved in Brisbane at that time. And it just shell-shocked me to watch how he owned the room in 30 seconds. 8 hours, no one could get the room. 30 seconds, he fucking owned the whole room. Everyone in the palm of his hand. He told a story for 10 minutes and then he just did Q&A and everyone's like on the edge of their seat. He's just answering questions.
Yeah.
And that just blew my mind. And the one statement that he made that day was basically like, you just need to go start some shit. So whatever it is you want to do, just fucking start. That's pretty much the entire hallmark of his message. So Telstra, right? Customers in front of me, losing his mind, flipping out at me, and I had a moment of clarity, like, what am I doing here? And that plus the Gary event, I just was like, I'm starting an agency. I don't know what came over me. It was just impulsive. I was like, I know design, I know content, I know marketing, I know sales, I know psychology, I know this stuff. I could start an agency. And yeah, that day after the Gary Vee event, I'm driving home and I'm like, let's start this thing. And I just jumped on Facebook. I messaged people, I text people, I called people. I said, I'm starting an agency. What do you need? Who needs a logo? Who needs a poster? Who needs a business card? I got you. Requests start coming in. I start producing content, educating what I'm doing.
On the infamous Instagram?
On the infamous Instagram.
Yeah.
This is how it all started.
Yeah.
So I was getting clients and I was like, I'll just teach what I'm doing as I'm doing it because I got time. So I was just making content on Instagram, just carousels that educate, hey, this is the process. This is how you do branding stuff, you know, because I knew it all. I read all the books and I'd studied it and I thought it was fascinating. Everything to do with design and psychology and sales. It was just natural to me. 2 weeks in, this guy sends me a DM. His name's Mario Trotter. And he's a mortgage broker in New York. Funny guy. He calls himself the monk. So he doesn't actually wear a suit. He wears a beanie. He wears a bright pink shirt. He's got wristbands. He's really loud. He's got a giant beard. He's jolly. And he's always got photos of himself at corporate events just dressed up in this bright pink shirt. I think he's hilarious. So here I am on a phone call to a guy in New York at like 11 p.m. at night. And Ellie's like, who's Mario? Who's this guy in New York? What are you doing? And I said, look, he wants to do business with me. He gets on the call and he goes, Dain, I love your shit. Can you make my content? I said, yeah, Mario, for sure, man. Like, let's strike a deal. Like, you know, these are my prices. He goes, no, I want you to do my content for free. For free. And I was like, what are you talking about, Mario? But he said, here's the catch. What do you need? What do you need, Dain? I said, dude, I need clients. He goes, how much money do you want every month? I said, dude, if I could make 10 grand a month, I'd quit my job. He goes, cool. If you quit your job, can you make more content for me? And I said, yeah. He calls me 24 hours later, at 11 o'clock the next day. I got 6 clients for you, Dain. They've all signed contracts. I wrote the contracts for you. Here's the contracts. Are you ready to make my content? Like he's a genius. He's really great at like marketing and networking. And
so he didn't just say, yeah, I'll get your clients, mate. You know, they're in the mail type thing. He said, here's the contracts, mate.
He handed them to me. Yeah. He's like, here's the contracts. I emailed them to you. They're all signed.
What a savage.
And yeah, so it was $10,000 a month worth of retainer clients. And he put them in a 6-month contract for me.
Yeah.
Wow. And he was serious. He's like, let's make content. So I took it very seriously. And that was kind of the first, like, arguably client I had.
And how did it sort of niche into branding? Because most people that are running around making agencies, they need to include the digital marketing, the website, the SEO and AdWords and, you know, the full service I guess agency. And you've turned around and you've gone, no, I'm branding.
So how did I get to the agencies?
Yeah.
So what happened was there were 6 mortgage broking clients, which, you know, if you know anything about mortgage broking, it's a bit boring. But for some reason, man, people in New York are fun, dude. Like one thing I remember was my fiance coming out and she said, "Are you on an argument on that phone call?" And I was like, "No, this is just how you talk to people in New York." They're so like fiery and just loud. And she's like, "Oh, okay, it sounded like you were in an argument." I'm like, "No, I'm just chatting to Mario about business, you know." So what happened was I sat down with these mortgage brokers and I said, "What's your logo?" And they go, "I don't have one." "What color palette are you using?" I don't have a color palette." "What do you do with photography?" I don't like, how do you communicate? What kind of person are you? That's your job to figure out the content. I'm like, no. Like, we're going to workshop this and you're going to tell me like what you want. I'm just going to put it all together for you. So I was just whipping in these logos, color palettes. I would just tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is your new color palette. Everyone else uses blue. We're using beige, or we're using, Mario's case, it was pink, or we're going to use something other than what the competitors are doing. That's when I started doing branding. So then when other leads started coming in, instead of just selling them content, I said, "Hey, do you want a logo?" "Yeah." "Okay, add that to the list." "Do you need a new name?" "I do need a new name." "Great, I'll add that to the list. I'll figure out how to do that later." "What else do you need?" "I need a website." "Okay." I would just create a list of what their problem was in their business. Usually it's like, we want more clients. I want to be able to increase my prices, something of value that they want. Branding is the answer and maybe the tactical solution, but it's not the problem.
Yeah.
So I had to identify what the problem was. And then the packages went from $500 were my first few packages for branding. Now we're charging north of 6 figures for one brand. So it's bonkers how much it was able to scale. But what would happen is I would just treat every project like it was my business. Like I'll scrub and puke on the World Gym mat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to treat every project we get like it's actually my company, and I'm going to inject all my energy into it. And I think what happened was, because of that energy exchange, people were like, "Dane's my guy." And then they would send me more clients, and then they would promote me on their feed. And then most of our leads now come from referrals. People go, "Yeah, Dain hooked me up. He'll hook you up. Go chat to him."
And the most powerful lead.
Yeah, and then I got so busy I couldn't keep up. I was doing no joke, dude. I was working 17, 18-hour days, 7 days a week. Yeah. And Ellie's like, dude, this is too much. We got a baby on the way. So I had a guy. His name's Carlos. Shout out to Carlos. He's my tech director. He DM'd me, said, I want to do free work for you. I said, come on board. And then I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good having help. We just started hiring people. So 2 and a bit years later, we got 20 people up the street at Rivyl.
I was going to say, just backing over what you said, when you look out into the branding space, that in business, on every level, that's what you do. That's what works.
Be different.
Just be different, man. Don't be better. Better's by default. You have to be better, right?
Yeah.
You got to be different, man. So if everyone's selling content, give it for free. If everyone, you know what I mean? Like whatever everyone else is doing, identify it. And don't do that.
So can we unpack different then? Why be different? Because to me, it doesn't make sense.
Think about all your friends that start a business, right? This is usually what they say. Man, I really care about my customers. All the competitors suck. They're terrible. Even though they're an $8 billion company, they don't know what they're doing. My shit's better. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, how are you going to communicate it? I'm going to tell people that it's better. That's not interesting. Like, better by default is not fascinating.
Yeah, don't be better, be different.
Yeah, so think about Hoovers. Do you remember the old Hoover vacuums?
Yeah.
I'm getting into my fucking vacuum. Scraping the barrel. Okay, so Hoover vacuums, they were like these big luggish things with the hoses, and you had to have the 5 meter cord behind you, whatever else. Dyson comes along and he says, "Fuck that, let's be different." How do I completely flip and tilt the axis of what vacuuming means and make it sexy? How do I make vacuums feel engineered and sexy?
And he's gone to the problem for that too, yeah.
And he went to the problem. What problem do I solve?
Far
what problem do I solve? Fuck bags.
Oh.
I don't want bags. I want a bagless vacuum.
I don't want cords.
That's the problem he solved. And then the product isn't the brand. So then he made it purple and sophisticated and sleek and modern and cool and sophisticated.
Something that you'd hang on your wall and go,
it's a piece of art.
Yeah.
It's almost status too. If you've got a Dyson, have you got the Hoover or you got a Dyson?
It's a flex.
Status.
I got a Rolex and a Dyson.
That's not even funny, man. This guy, when we first got our first office, used to bring his little Dyson.
I used to bring it in, charge it up. Yeah. Don't worry, Benny, I'll bring the Dyson tomorrow.
The fucking drones didn't have one, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That whole concept of being different, because like if you think about it, whenever anyone cracks the mold in the space, like think of liquid death. Everyone does the tranquil waterfall in a clear bottle, and they put a skull in flames and call it death, and they're like, there's water in here. That's fascinating.
And now, exactly.
Yeah.
So you think
and it's
about
a niche.
So that's finding your niche as well, though, because not everyone would pick that up, though.
Yep.
But you're better off really succeeding and blowing up a niche than talking to everyone and
big
invariably
fish in a little pond,
talking
and a little
to
fish
nothing.
in a big pond, man. That's what you want to be. You want to be the big fish in a little pond than a little fish in a big pond.
We're buying the water with the waterfall fountain and all that.
We've got some beautiful Meriton.
We've got the Meriton.
Shout out, Meriton.
Shout out Meriton. Thanks for the water. But yeah, I think
Great example though, the water.
Well, even another one is Nike, right? Nike has a niche. Athletes.
Yeah.
Or
does it extend past athletes now?
It does, but
I feel like it's a big niche.
It's a big.
Well, but they were probably basketball early on, right? Running, and then moving to basketball.
Yeah.
But Hollywood, you said, I just want to pick up on, we were talking last night about your new business, which we won't thing, and I was talking about branding, and your response was, yeah, it's cool, mate, it's part of the girl, she's going to do it, it's all good. You're looking at it different now going, no. You can't just fucking give it to some girl.
What's the problem?
Some girl that you're paying $1,500 and think that she's going to do it, or whatever it is, just hypothetically. But whatever it is you're paying, you can't do that, man.
Yeah.
You got to take ownership, because she doesn't. Brain, you back me up here, Dain. She doesn't know what you want on your brand, man.
Yeah.
You're going to get her to tell your story. It doesn't make sense, and it won't work.
I've already think what I've got to do.
Yeah.
The
You've
problem,
got to come up
the
with
audience,
who you are, what your story is.
Well,
She's got to take it from within you. She's got to pull it out of you, and that's how she creates it. You don't just send her on her way and say, "This is what I want to do. You go do it." It's a collaboration. It's a collaborative.
It has to be.
Has to be collaborative, man, because it's you. She's trying to pull it out of you, and then visualize it and be able to deliver.
Is that what you do, Dain? Do you meet clients and do you draw it all that information out, and do you feel what they're
Yeah, good point. So like we look at design, because we do a lot of design, like a ton of design stuff. But design for us is kind of the finish line. It's a finale for a project. So if you come to me with a project, the first thing we're going to do is sit down for literally a day. And I'm going to say, what's your story? Why are you here? why do you care about this product? Because there's two types of entrepreneurs. One is, I want to start a business to make money, which is like having kids to get more free time. Doesn't work. But if you start a business and you genuinely care about, I got to solve this problem. Like, think about Elon Musk. He looked at NASA and was like, that's dumb. They're taking this rocket up into outer space, exploding it and crashing it in the ocean. That's stupid. There's billions of dollars at waste. Yeah. Can we just land that thing? And he looked at that and he said, well, the problem is if they only had more fuel, they could flip it and then come in gently without flying into the universe, flying down to Earth like a meteorite. And how can we actually land that thing? But back to branding, it's like, how do you see the world? That's how Elon saw that problem. What problem are you looking at and how do you want to solve it? And we spend literally a whole day together. Who's your target audience? Why would they buy from you? Where else would they buy from? Who are your competitors? Who else would they go to instead of you? What are they doing? Let's have a look at their stuff. How are they telling their story? What do you believe in? What's your company's culture going to be? How are you going to know you're going to hire the right people? What's the feeling you want to give? Nike gives confidence. Starbucks gives an environment you can work in. Dove soap gives you self-esteem. What are you giving emotionally? Because people buy emotionally. So we need to identify what emotion are people buying. We go through all these exercises and we spend a lot of time iterating on it. And at the end of that, we come back and we do research. We go look at the competitive market. Hey, everyone's doing yellow and everyone's doing logos like this and everyone's messaging is about empowerment. Let's do something different here, different. Like, how do we differentiate all those layers and build something new and creative? And then once you go, that's dope. I'm loving where this is going. I love the tagline. I love the messaging. I love the target consumer. I love how our brand's going to behave extremely like Red Bull or whatever it is, because you want to have some personality. Then we visit design. How do we get a design that makes you fit that bracket? How do we make you minimalistic and cool and sleek because all your competitors are noisy and over communicating? Or how do we make you look disruptive and bold when all your competitors look calm and elegant? So how do we just differentiate everything? Yeah. And then we pick a logo, then we pick a color, then we pick a style, then we pick photos, because design has a job to do, and that's sell your strategy. But if you start at design, or you ask a designer, and I'm saying this with love, but if you ask a designer, this is what I want, do it like this, there's no strategy. It's just, cool, I'll make that for you. I'll package that up, and I'm sure it looks fantastic. Yeah. But is it functional? Is it strategic?
And it just puts you in line and puts you in the group of everyone else.
Yeah.
And then 15 on a shelf, which one do I pick? I don't want a 1 in 15 chance of succeeding.
Yeah. You really want to think about your industry from every angle, and it's uncomfortable. It's not an easy exercise. Like, we worked with a woman yesterday. She's extremely successful. She's in the beauty space. She sells skincare products and runs multiple clinics. And some of these questions were rattling her. She's like, why haven't I thought of this? I'm like, who are your competitors? Well, I don't need to look at my competitors. And I said, well, they're all messaging your bracket of product like this. And this is how much money they're making. Oh, I didn't know that was an $8 billion company. It is. And this is, they're using this emotion and they're communicating this way. So if you're on the shelf next to them, which one would you pick? She's like, oh my God, I picked the competitor. And I said, we need to manipulate your perception to feel not like the second best product to that product. We need to make you look like a new category, a new thing.
Wow, and that's that education piece on branding, isn't it? So she's come from there, and just even like a conversation with you and education from you, they're coming along going, we need this like oxygen in our business.
Yeah, there's a huge education component to this, because back to academia, we don't have as time as business owners to go study this stuff. Like you shouldn't have to go study these things or read these books. But it's like, can you sit with someone that has and have them kind of create a roadmap for you to go, hey, look, it's like a Sherpa up a mountain. You want to climb Mount K2? I'm your Sherpa. You're doing the work with me, but I'm keeping you away from danger. I'm like, hey, just let you know your competitors are doing this over here. Let's just stay away from that. And hey, everyone's using that color. Let's just not, don't go down that route. Let's go this way. And it's just navigating together, but it's very collaborative, because if you have an ambition for a business, it's in your head. You have a vision in your head, you have a dream in your head, you have maybe do some manifestation techniques, or you write down your goals, whatever that stuff is. That's the first part of our workshop. Let's understand that, and let's try to vision cast together so that everything that we build for you aligns and gets you to that desired goal or objective as a business as fast as we can get you there.
Nice. Oh, that's sick. Hey, you mentioned colour in there. Can we talk a little bit about colour psychology?
Yeah.
I think that's a big one when it comes to branding. And I'm gonna start off with a question, right? Which
Yeah.
is what I've learned of
Yeah.
colour psychology. So, Rivyl, you've chosen red.
Yeah.
That is different. Like my understanding and was using red online. Psychology is stop, warning.
Well, orange. It's like a lava orange. It's almost red.
At all, yeah,
Yeah.
you're true. You are
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because that is different. So how did you end up there? And can you sort of explain to us a little bit how the colour psychology works? Because it's not as black and white. Different colours can mean different emotions. Is that
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Like red and like deep burning like orange can. There's a study that's done that people that apparently wear orange find more conflict in their lives than people that don't.
My son's favourite colour is orange. Shout
Yeah,
out.
is it?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's just a funny study.
And he
but-
finds conflict.
With his sisters.
and they found that if men wear like baby blue or salmon, like with a sail suit, it calms women. So color is really interesting, and a lot of sales guys, you'll notice that if you ever see a real estate sales guy wearing bright colors, they're not going to sell as effectively to women as if they wear neutral pastel colors. Wow. This stuff is fascinating. And then when you look at like my situation as an agency, we looked at every agency in Sydney and Australia, and all of them, literally all of them, have a black and white color palette with a minimalistic logo, and they're very formal about. They're kind of prestigious and snobby about like we know design and we're trusted and look at us. And then here's Rivyl, and our website says you got to get bold or get bent. Don't get slammed by that chat at the end of the bar. Be the brand that everyone wants to throw their wallet at. Like we're just completely flipping how brand agencies talk. But we chose orange because we wanted to be rebellious. We wanted to be in your face.
That makes sense. See,
Yeah.
on you, because it's like it's
We wanna
going,
be
why? How? What? Man, what are you doing, dude? Yeah,
We want to be aggressive, assertive,
Yeah.
in your face, bold, and like we want to feel like a punch of energy. So when you're looking at our competitors, black and white, minimalism, sophisticated.
Seen it.
A
Yeah.
giant tiger screaming at you in orange. Oh, Rivyl, get bold or get bent. And then there's these crazy textures, and it's eclectic, and it's like retro but futuristic, and it's dirty and it's textural. So then it's
attitude.
It's attitude. So it's literally the opposite of what our competitors are doing. And we get emails all the time about, hey, I don't know what it is about you guys. I was looking around, but I just want to talk to you guys. There's just a curiosity. I want to talk to why are these guys so different? And it just gets them on the phone. And then when we were on the call, we say, well, why did you book us in? And they just said, well, you just looked interesting. I looked at your competitors. I wasn't excited. I looked at you guys. I got excited. Booked you in.
And when it comes to branding, I guess you're making people feel things. I want you to do that for my company.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Branding agencies, ironically, don't have a brand. They really pull themselves back.
That's what I'm sort of thinking. Like
That's
all these
fair.
guys are the experts in the space. It's not as
Yeah.
if they're just not educated and it's like, oh, we're doing our brand this because we don't really understand it. These guys understand it. They've gone vanilla the whole way through.
Yeah.
And then you've gone, well, no, the essence of branding's this, and we're going to go this way.
Yeah.
Is
Like
that-
we want it to be an example of a brand as well
Of
as
standing out, and this is what we can do for you.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, basically, because like I understand the argument that other agencies, the reason they do it is they typically do black and white because they want to champion the clients they work with. Like look at all of the client work that we've done. But if you're a business owner, one of the things that goes through people's heads is why don't they have their own brand?
Yeah.
And
If this is that important,
Yeah.
the stuff that you're selling to me is that important.
They're
Why,
not
why,
even
why,
doing it.
haven't you done it?
Yeah, and they go to their social media. There's not much content. It's pretty dry. But yeah, we get comments all the time. Like, you guys are the only ones teaching this stuff.
Yeah.
And it comes back to that principle. We're out educating our competitors. Like, we looked at every single brand agency in Australia. There are ad agencies that do educate, but there's literally not any brand agencies that are like established, not a freelancer, right? So there are freelancers teaching branding in Australia, but as far as like an agency of like 20, 25 employees, none of them are educating anything. It's just, here's our portfolio.
Yeah.
And I guess they feed the animal. They get to make the profit that they want. But I'm looking above that. I'm like, how do we build something huge? And I think it's through education.
Wow.
through giving.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
giving,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
so fascinating. I'm fascinated by the colours.
Yeah.
Like, that blows my mind that a salesperson wearing baby blue is more likely to sell to a female than opposed to someone in just black or white or...
Yeah.
That's crazy. It blows my... Like, it's...
Yeah,
That's the human psychology that you learn, that you...
Yeah,
that
and
you
also
studied.
they studied that women don't like men that wear pinky rings.
That wear...
Like pinky rings. Yeah, so if you're a sales guy, you get a pinky ring. You're wearing a bright red shirt.
Can we
You're in
run
trouble.
I don't think I like that either,
Can
Dana.
we run through a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
colours
yeah,
and
yeah.
you give us the emotion? And before we do, just for shits and giggles, we'll see what Dan thinks the emotion is first. Right? So let's go. Yellow.
Confused.
That's interesting. So yellow's general, and there needs to be context to this as well, because colors can be contextual and cultural, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to Cambodia, men love wearing hot pink. It's not a feminine color.
Okay.
Yeah, men roll around in bright pink motorcycles and pink, because in their childhood they don't go boys wear blue, girls wear pink. That doesn't exist. So color can get a little complicated, but generally speaking, yellow is like happiness, joy, and like vivid, bright, like positive things, like sunflowers and stuff.
Can I give you my explanation of confused?
Yeah.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Because, I think blue is during the day, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happy. Dark, I'm feeling tired, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yellow, sunset, sunrise. I'm a bit not sure what I'm feeling.
Cool. So here's an interesting thing. Color is contextual. That's your context, and you're allowed to have that. So this is where color gets complicated, because like that Cambodian example, color's personal. So for example, I've had clients where we've pitched red and they go, that's a dangerous color. And then you pitch it to another client and they go, oh, that's sexy. Or you pitch it to another client and they go, oh, that's exciting. So color is so interpersonal. But generally speaking, there's like at large, there is a consistent consensus that certain colors evoke certain things. Like hospitals used to use, what's that blue color? Psych wards use like a peppermint blue. It is calming, and it
the
is
gowns
proven.
and stuff they wore.
Yeah.
They wear. Yeah.
But yellow, confusing. That's interesting.
Hold on.
I thought you were going to say traffic lights. When it's yellow, you don't know whether to go or to stop.
Good example. That's even better. Do I go? Do I not?
Hit it. Yeah.
Purple. Purple's an interesting one.
Oh, yeah. She's purple. That's, I'm trying to think what the first emotion would be for purple.
Think about the businesses that you see in purple.
Yeah.
That
Think about brands.
might-
I'm thinking Cadbury straight away.
Yeah.
Purple. That's
Okay.
what I'm thinking. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking...
Cadbury, well done.
I'm thinking I want to eat. I want to
He's
treat
in on it.
myself.
He's zooming in.
Treat myself.
Yeah.
Sweet.
My guess,
Sweet.
Dane?
Yeah, go ahead.
Correct. Wealth. It means
Yeah,
some
close.
kind of
Oh.
wealth.
Yeah, it means like wealth, royalty.
Royalty, yeah.
lavish,
Lavish, yeah.
luxurious.
Yep.
I think about a lot of like beauty brands use purple. Hotels use purple all the time to create that
Yep.
like royal.
And like finance, if you go online and you go look up
Yeah,
accountants and finances and stuff, they're all using blues and purples and stuff.
Yeah. Purple can also be like mysterious or clever or intelligent. But yeah, generally it's a sense of wealth for sure. You're on it. You were close. You're getting in there.
I got one more.
This is giving me anxiety. This. I hope everyone's playing it at home as well in the car when they're
I've
listening.
got one more, which might be a tricky one. The green. So greens are. I've always found like orange.
Active.
Green's a bit of a tricky colour, like orange.
Active, playful.
What shade of green?
Yeah.
Oh,
good
now,
question.
jeez.
Good question.
let's call it-
Stop, go green? Like the traffic light?
Traffic light green, yeah.
Yeah, like the primary.
Primary green, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like behind Pete, I'm seeing grass, so it's green grass. I'm thinking playful, activity, energetic. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's generally positive stuff. Like I think you're on the money there, man. It's like it's active. It's sometimes it can be connected to nature. And give a sense of, but maybe not that particular shade. But yeah, green is generally a positive color. People really have positive feelings.
What's your
towards it.
favourite colour, Dane? Orange?
Yeah,
Or
orange.
Was it already? Was that your favourite colour, and you've guided it in that way, or has it become your favourite colour now that it's your core brand colour?
So I don't know if you guys know what Warhammer is, but when I was a kid, I used to paint little Warhammer figurines when I was like 6.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah,
and I'd
yeah.
always paint them orange. It's my favorite color, I think. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. I don't like. I never liked orange soda though, but I like the color.
Michelangelo, the turtle was orange. He was my favourite.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
I was the blue one. What was
Donatello was purple, wasn't he?
Leonardo?
Leonardo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul at my work, he has Michelangelo
the tattoo.
He has the actual tattoo.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty
that's
orange.
That's interesting
Yeah,
as
the
well.
orange Ninja Turtle. Yeah, it's pretty cool. On his
How
calf.
old Ninja Turtles, Benny? Like, how old would Ninja Turtles be? Decades
Early
and decades.
90s? Early 90s?
20 years, man.
I would say 80s, man.
Late 80s?
reckon
yeah,
they're
late
early.
80s, early 90s, yeah.
Because my stepdad grew up on it. He was always talking about it.
So I feel like the colours that they were given, I feel like the orange guy, he was the mischievous, playful one. Like,
Yes,
did he have
he
a
was
bit of
mischievous.
attitude
Yeah,
about
Michelangelo
it?
was always
where the blue and the green, they were a bit more mature. And
Yes.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
Branding,
What
the
about
journey of
Splinter?
branding, eh? Well, he was just neutral. He wasn't
He was
orange because he wasn't playful. He was
grandfather.
Anyway.
But,
That,
I mean, branding for colours, you look at Coca Cola.
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the full story behind the red behind Coke, but I do know it's something to do with like attention. Like,
Oh no, I have.
Yeah.
I've watched.
You know?
I have. I've watched the documentary, and I've got the shittest memory in the world. I've watched how Coke started and all of that, and it was they did signs way back then, and they did those classic signs, and they did red so it could stand out. Man, it was just stand out.
It's loud.
It was loud.
and
yeah.
do you get to Coca Cola, like, you get to a point where it's like,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
But that was before.
We're
its
being
time,
that
right?
we're
was
that
before.
big, we're that like entrenched. Our brand equity is so strong. That
yeah,
it is what it is.
It's like a cultural component now. It's part of
Yeah,
culture.
like McDonald's, same deal.
Yeah, they've kind of they're above the fold. They're so big. Like
Yeah,
Red Bull
yeah.
could stop marketing and sell for the next couple of decades. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, Coke. Interestingly, it's a good point. This is a problem that they're having now, and we're actually talking to them on Friday.
Hello.
Friday next week.
I was going to say because you're busy.
Oh
this
man, I've been
Friday,
hunting Coke for years. It's on the wall at work. Like, we're gonna get them one day. Every time I walk home, the Coke building's there. I'm like, one day. Anyways, but their problem now is they're so embedded in culture, they're becoming
Yeah.
invisible.
Yeah.
So when they do movie promos, people don't even pay attention to the fact that it's there. It's just like it's like a tree in the background now.
It's so true, isn't
It's
it?
so seen and so unconscious. You just kind of ignore it now. Wow. So what they started to do, they started to try to play with their campaigns. So they would do a red billboard with just a white silhouette of a Coke bottle, because that's weird. That'll stand out to you. But the actual Coca Cola logo on the red, people ignore it.
Yeah, because it's just
Because
so
it's
used
so
to seeing.
ingrained in us.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, there it
You'll
is.
still buy it, but like it's so like it's not obvious. It's
the
not
norm.
loud. It's not loud anymore. Yeah,
interesting.
unless they do something interesting with the campaign.
How's that? That was a question I was going to ask. That was a good exercise, Benny, the colour exercise.
Yeah.
Anyone playing at home, hope they enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Big brands, Dane. You've started out last couple of years, Coca Cola, it's on your vision board.
Yeah.
How are you going to land big brands? Like, anyone in business is looking for their whales.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Because you're working with some amazing ones, but obviously you want to work with more.
Yeah.
What's the secret?
Yeah, I think for the big stuff, there hasn't really been a secret yet. It's just opportunities show up, you know, and I'm a big believer in, like, you create your own luck.
Oh,
And
fuck, dude.
yeah, man, I'm just so relentless with the content. I just know that if I make enough noise, something will show up.
PK used to say to me all the time, right? And because we did the content thing at the start, and I say it's a thing, PK, and I wasn't sure, but he'd say, man, he'd say to me when I'd start doubting myself, right? He'd say, Benny, only good things can happen, dude. Only good things can happen. So let's just keep doing it, and nothing bad. You create your own luck, right?
Yeah.
Let's not worry. We don't have to figure it out. Let's just keep doing it because only good things can happen. And that was the impetus of this podcast as well, right? Because we didn't know what we're doing, how it was going to be perceived or whatever. But we're like, you know what? Let's just do it. And
Do it well.
do it well.
Put your
and
best foot
nothing
forward.
Bad, and nothing bad can happen. Only good can come of it. And we're going, yeah.
Top 5% in the world of the business podcast.
hello.
We haven't shared that.
Yeah, that was our first
So we
year.
got our Spotify rap. Yeah, you tell them.
Yeah, well, the boys told me that, like, we came in this year to do our first pod, and they go, look at the stats here, Dan, from Spotify. We're in the top 5% in the world of business podcasts.
Unbelievable.
And
Share,
for 28
share.
days, we were
No,
number 30 in the world.
So
Yeah,
I
look,
think
that's amazing.
I think we're in the top 5 shared podcasts in the world, and the
5%?
stat was the top 5%, and the stat was so 20% of people that consume our content on Spotify.
Yeah.
They share our content, so they'll send a text and say, "Hey, man, if you watch this or whatever," and that puts us in the top 5%.
Why do you think you guys were able to do that? Because there's a lot of potties out there.
In the first fucking year, and I googled, there's 800,000 active podcasts, man, and we made it to. We spent 28 days in the top 30 in the business in the world, and the business is the most saturated
Yeah, it's the most overpopulated.
It's the most overpopulated thing. And I'll tell you why, Dane, in my honest opinion, man, because a lot of it, as the audience knows, has been my brainchild. The things that we spoke about today, dude, it'd be different, man.
Yeah.
I looked around and said, okay, so there's a lot of people doing single people podcasts. There's a lot of people doing 2. Go and do 3, and it's been a head fuck, man. Because there's a reason people don't get 3 hosts, because it's hard, man. Like, we have to.
Look how many cameras you guys got.
Yeah, we've got 5 cameras, we've got 3 hosts, and then the other thing, no one else ever had a live camera. They always had fixed camera, because that's another expense and another thing. We've got a live cameraman. He's following the conversation. So everything, it's the same thing. I just looked at everything and said, okay, so they're all doing that. We'll do the opposite. So I think maybe we're standing out a little bit, because we're different.
And then you're hunting down guests that you enjoy.
And on the back of that, and I'll tell you why as well. And I had someone say to me at the end of it, I had a dude, he's actually got an agency as well. I'll shout him out, Ignite Online. And he said to me, contacted me on LinkedIn. He's a friend, and he said, congratulations on the podcast. And he's just like a friend of a friend. And he was like, congratulations on the podcast. And he made a point of saying, the thing, he consumes a lot of podcasts, and what he noticed is that we're getting guests that aren't on the normal podcast circuit. And the reason for that, because we're not out listening to the podcast circuit. We just came up with a podcast, and then we're just talking to people that we just come up with, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you've kind of created your own style of interviews or guest type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just sort of made it up as we went. So, yeah.
Do you guys aspire to anyone? Like, do you look up to, like, the Joe Rogans or anything like that?
I joke about being Logan.
I do like
Just less
Logan, and I've opened up about that before.
Logan
I
Paul
started
or-
watching Impulsive from the first episode, and I was never like a YouTuber and never watched his career before all that, when it was all whatever. But I've watched those guys, the Full Send guys. There's a lot, Colin Samir. There's a lot of YouTubers that I sort of follow on there, and just got that vibe. And it's sick.
I'm probably Steve Bartlett, I reckon. Diary CEO.
Yeah. There's a lot of people I know. Bonnie Boy, cameraman Bonnie Boy's Steve Bartlett guy.
Yeah.
But I just felt like my biggest thing was I felt like there was a shift in content, man. Like I just noticed that video was going to be a thing. No,
You
for
were
sure.
you were onto the macro of it.
The macro, yeah. And I just felt like I
Attention.
remember I was like, okay, so Spotify's going to start doing video, are they? Well, there's a reason for that. So
Yeah,
then-
And
Why?
they paid how much for
Yeah,
Rogan and all that sort of
and
stuff.
also they paid
Yeah.
how much for Rogan, how much for Call Her Daddy. So then we were able to, I contacted Spotify and said, hey man, we're going to create this thing, and we're going to do it in video so that we can be on your platform, right? And at that point, not everyone could be in video. And like, righto, buddy. I mean, a year goes by. By the time it took a year to get it off the ground, did a video, and it took I think it was about 3 episodes. I'd send it to him. So we've got video, man. Can put our video up instead of audio? And then just one day, just an email popped up and said, we found it, and we were part of the beta, or is that what they call it? The beta for
Make your own luck.
Yeah, for Spotify, man. And that was just sending emails, grinding them, and
Wow.
following up. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I know you're a bit of a maverick with the details. You like
Details,
SEO
man.
and all that stuff.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
All these quotes that I always spit, and Pete and Dan, and that we keep backing over here, like they're the foundations of what we're doing, man. And if people can really just understand that it really is that simple, you know what I mean? It's not as complicated. You said the whole impetus of what happened with you was you were sitting there and Gary said, just fucking start, dude. Don't overthink it, man. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to have it all worked out. Just start, and if you do everything, the best you can, and how you do everything, is you'll get there.
Absolutely.
You'll do what you just said.
Yeah.
You'll create your own luck, and you'll find yourself in a place that you never imagined.
Absolutely.
Look at us three.
Yeah.
Look
Look at you now, man. You're in a three-story mansion on top of a building.
Penthouse, talking to the guru and marketing, and you can hear the passion in our voices because we want to be here, we want to learn. So
We used to have to get on a plane with our fluoro and go to a work site and work for 28 days straight, 12 hours a day.
Jesus.
That's what we would jump on a plane to do, us three blokes.
Me and Pete
Being on
walked
the
through
plane.
the airport yesterday morning, and like we saw, we won't say the company, but
Saw
we
a shot fitter.
A shot fitter from a company that we know, and it was a weird experience.
Just going, man, 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah. And that was
Anyway.
us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's remarkable. I think, just even taking this moment in, what you guys are doing right now, because there's, so many people in Sydney that I'm sure you guys are going to start speaking to. And this is exciting. You guys are well and truly on your way and doing some epic stuff around this as well. So,
No, legend, Dain. And, man, straight back at you. We're rapt to have you on and talking about your journey. And, man, sounds like you're just at the start of it.
yeah. Yeah, it still feels like I only just started.
And
Yeah.
I haven't really moved much yet.
And we're looking forward to doing some work with you as well, Dain. You know, we're gonna challenge the Little Fish brand, man, and see what we can do to always just keep building ourselves and elevate as well. So.
Well, I've been educated today, so
Yeah, same. Yeah.
With the baby blues and the salmons.
Yeah, correct.
I'm trying to think what colour Benny's got. He's almost baby blue.
You're in
grey.
there. You're in the bracket, mate. You'll be right.
Is that
So he
baby-
could sell today.
This is on the store. This was called Storm.
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 Yeah, it's a nice colour.
Oh, baby
Bit
blue
stormy.
Storm, that makes sense.
Is this a part of his brand? Is he genuinely in these neutral colours?
We do
I don't
have
know.
neutrals. Yeah.
Might need to be looked at.
Yeah, we are neutrals.
Do you guys have like consistent outfit styles and colours?
I'm more blue. I'm dark blue.
yeah.
I can
You
tell
guys-
you this, Dain. Get these guys here, that's enough. Trying to coordinate their fucking dress is not going to happen. Man.
I wore baby blue once and I absolutely copped it from these blokes. So I never did it again.
That's true. And he wore white as
But
well.
now
He
it's
can't wear
it's a powerful colour. So man,
I might start wearing it again.
But Dain, you're a legend, man.
Yeah.
You're genuine.
Yeah.
Man.
Thanks for coming
Wishing
on, man.
nothing but the
Awesome
best,
chat.
dude. You're going to kill it, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
thanks guys. Thanks for
Awesome
having me on
chat.
and inviting me up to your mansion.
Appreciate it. A lot of nuggets. So many nuggets.
Yeah.
lot of nuggets.
For
Any,
2 days.
anyone who's interested in business or starting anything, or it's like whether it's big, small, medium size, whatever it is.
And you've got an education platform. Do you want to shout that out?
We're going to create a platform where people can self-educate for like really low cost on how to actually build a brand.
Yeah.
So back to your point, right? Like not everyone's in a position to invest, so that they just, like Gary Vee says, just fucking get started. And one last quote from David Ogilvy. He said, "If you're starting a business with a logo, you started too late."
That's a good point.
Yeah, he said, get your feet wet, get out there and make some noise, make some mistakes, and then once you get into a groove, you go, okay, cool. Now we kind of know what's going on. Now we know how we need to brand this thing. So it's not a bad thing.
Because that will help you create the brand.
Yeah, be willing to just run at a wall and make mistakes, and then like listen to your customers' problems, listen to how they see the world. You'll start to see patterns occur. If you serve 30 clients, you're like, man, they're all kind of, in their mid-30s, and they all kind of have 2 kids, and they all drive utes, and you start to see some kind of consistent component, and you're like, well, where else do they shop? What brands do they like? Then you can start engineering yourself around your target audience. Marty Neumeier says, he wrote the book Zag, and if you don't know who,
I know it, yep.
yeah, so for those that are listening that don't know what it is, it was Steve Jobs' favorite book. And he did a lot of work with Apple. And Marty says, find a parade and get in front of it. Don't necessarily try to invent a category of audience. Your category or audience already exists. You just need to identify who they are, put a circle around them and be like, that's my brand. I'm going to build a brand that perfectly fits their world.
There you go.
And figure out what their problem is.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because we just rebranded a year and a half ago, 7 years into our business.
Yeah.
And I was arguing with my wife, my business partner, why are we doing this? We've got the name. Why do we want to do it? And it was all about just re-establishing ourselves, going to a higher end market. It made sense.
Yeah, and maybe like in the first 2 or 3 years, you had a certain type of audience. I don't know if this happened, but did you find that your audience evolved over that 7 years?
100%. Like the jobs, the money in the jobs or the budgets were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So
Did the problems change?
no, they're all probably very similar.
Similar?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was maybe the big difference from the first 2 years and the the 7th year regarding the conversations you were having with a client, how they thought about the problem?
Well, we took the problems away with what we bought everything in house. There was no more external, architects or things like that. It would all come to us, and we kept it all in house.
Yeah.
So we were trying to problem solve before we got to the build
But did the project bracket, did the price point change?
dramatically.
So what I mean by that is what we find is clients that are willing to pay, let's just say, a small sum of money, and the clients that are willing to pay big bucks, drastically different conversations that we have with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Different mindsets. Were you finding that similar mindsets, or was there a bit of a tilt in how?
No, I think still similar.
Yeah.
I think when you go to the next market,
Yeah.
I think that's when it's very challenging.
Okay.
In construction. I think
What's the next market from your current market?
8-figure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So do you feel like
I think that's the scary area.
is that where you're going though?
Potentially.
Yeah, cool.
Potentially.
And that's the exciting thing, and
Yeah.
it's thinking about how do we use our brand to get their attention.
Yeah.
And you might not need to rebrand, but you could tilt your language, or you could position yourself or create content. But I know a lot of those guys aren't online. They're at
Exactly.
networking events, stuff like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Dano, love it, man. Hey, one last one to leave us with. One amazing piece of advice for someone out there looking to start. You know, you've touched on things, but let's just wrap it up in a bow for the people out there.
Yeah, I think just honestly try to really articulate the problem you solve. Like really just get very clear about it. And just make sure that it's different from what your competition is saying. And then just remember your product and your service is not your brands. Your brand is how you make people feel and how they think about you, how do they perceive you, and growing a relationship to the point where they become loyal. If you can figure that out, that just start your journey focused on that, and you should be fine.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah,
so many nuggets. That's becoming a common theme, isn't it? Find the problem, reverse engineer it, build your business about that, fix it. Love it, Dano.
Thank you. Thanks for
man.
having me, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the chat. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe. Everyone's going to get value out of that. No excuses for not sharing that with everyone in your contact list. See you at the top. Stick around.